Saudi police launched a manhunt after a bomb blast targeted foreign diplomats attending a war memorial ceremony in Jeddah. At least 2 people were injured when the device exploded at Khawajat Cemetery during a speech by the French consul at the event commemorating the annual Armistice Day, which marks the end of the First World War. Makkah region authorities described the attack as cowardly and unsuccessful and said that an employee of the Greek consulate and a Saudi security officer were injured during a Remembrance Day ceremony held by the French consulate in Jeddah. The custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, in the presence of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, opened the 8th session of the Saudi Shura Council. The king said during his speech that the kingdom was working to complete large-scale projects to facilitate the performance of Umrah pilgrims and that it was keen to prepare for the Hajj pilgrimage under the exceptional circumstances of the ongoing coronavirus disease pandemic. He added that the kingdom had responded to the economic effects of coronavirus with initiatives and swift measures, including 218 billion riyals for private sector support and 47 billion riyals for the health sector, therefore reducing the economic and health impact of the pandemic. Saudi Arabia has signed an agreement to receive early supplies of 2 or 3 different vaccines that have reached the final stages of their clinical trials. According to Abdullah Al Asiri, Assistant Deputy Minister for Preventive Health, Saudi Arabia will be one of the first countries to receive the vaccines. The Ministry of Health has also set up health centers called Ta'akkad to cater to people who show no or only mild symptoms of the disease but think they might have come into contact with someone who is infected. According to 2 UN reportees, Ankara allowed Iranian intelligence officers to plot and carry out extrajudicial killings on Turkish soil. They also accused Ankara of allowing the escape of a man allegedly involved in the killing of Iranian journalist Masoud Mulavi in Istanbul in 2019. In a letter to Turkey's government, Agnes Kalamad, UN Special Rapporteur on Extrajudicial, Summary or Arbitrary Executions, and Javid Rahman on Human Rights in Iran, accused it of having failed to conduct appropriate formal investigations into the killing. The United Nations acting Libya envoy said the political talks in Tunis on Libya's future have reached a breakthrough, paving the way towards elections within 18 months. The participants reached a preliminary agreement on a roadmap to parliamentary and presidential elections that includes steps to unite Libya's institutions, Stephanie Williams said at a news conference in Tunis. She said Tuesday's heinous killing of dissident lawyer Hanan El-Barasi in the eastern city of Benghazi showed there was a crisis of accountability across Libya. The Russian coronavirus disease vaccine Sputnik V had an efficacy rate of 92% in tests conducted so far. News of the success of the Russian vaccine came 2 days after a vaccine developed by the American firm Pfizer in partnership with Germany's BioNTech was reported to be 90% effective, and as vaccines from China were rolled out to frontline health workers in the UAE and elsewhere. Tests of the Sputnik drug are currently in progress, involving 40,000 people in Russia, Belarus, the UAE and India. Russia has also been collaborating with health authorities in Saudi Arabia about the possibility of extending tests to the kingdom. U.S. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris has made history by becoming the first woman and female Black American and Asian American to be elected to the second highest office in America. and women in her ancestral village and throughout India on Wednesday revealed how they had been inspired by the 56-year-old politician. Harris was born in the US to an Indian mother and a Jamaican father, both of whom had migrated to America to study. Turkey banned smoking in crowded public places to slow a recent surge in symptomatic coronavirus patients, the Interior Minister said, as the government wants citizens to abide by protective measures. Daily coronavirus cases in Turkey have recently spiked, with 2,693 patients identified. In a nationwide notice, the Interior Ministry said the smoking ban aimed to ensure citizens comply with rules to wear protective masks properly in public because people were seen to lower them while smoking. As the sun began to set over his home city of Jericho, veteran Palestinian peacemaker Saeb Erekat was laid to rest after a memorial ceremony and funeral attended by hundreds. Erekat died on Tuesday in Jerusalem, the city whose eastern half he had claimed throughout a lifelong struggle for a negotiated Palestinian state that he never lived to see. A long-serving member of the Nationalist Party, Fatah, Erekat was Secretary General of the Palestinian Liberation Organization and a confidant and advisor to its former leader Yasser Arafat and his successor, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Up to 200,000 refugees could pour into Sudan while fleeing the deadly conflict in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region, officials say, while the first details are emerging of largely cut-off civilians under growing strain. Already at least 6,000 people have crossed the border. Communications remain almost completely severed with Tigray region a week after Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed announced a military offensive in response to an alleged attack by regional forces. He insists there will be no negotiations with the regional government he considers illegal until its ruling is arrested and its well-stocked arsenal is destroyed. Sudan has deployed troops on the border with Ethiopia to stop the infiltration of armed elements to its territories. Member of Sudan's Sovereign Council Mohamed Al-Faki Suleiman said on Tuesday that the government has taken all necessary arrangements to deal with the flow of Ethiopian refugees. He pointed out that the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees has visited eastern Sudan, inspected the old refugee camps, and prepared for opening new camps if necessary. Thousands of people protested in Armenia's capital, Yerevan, demanding the Prime Minister's resignation after he signed an agreement with Azerbaijan to halt weeks of fighting over Nagorno-Karabakh that called for territorial concessions in favor of Azerbaijan. The rally, organized by opposition parties in Yerevan, reportedly drew up to 10,000 people. Some clashed with police and many were detained and released later in the day. No entry fee, no face masks, and no risks in the new pandemic age online exhibition. New York's Brooklyn Museum is displaying costumes from the popular show The Crown online. At the queenandthecrown.com, visitors walk through the doors of the museum to see and learn about the iconic period costumes from the popular Netflix show. The exhibition also highlights pieces from the Queen's Gambit mini-series about her chess prodigy. Curated in collaboration with the streaming service, the exhibition is free of charge until December 13th and is opening just 2 weeks before The Crown heads into its highly anticipated fourth season with the arrival of then Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and Princess Diana. Within its farms, springs, volcanoes and forts, Khaybar combines historic charm and breathtaking landscape on a unique piece of land in the Medina region in Saudi Arabia. Khaybar, which used to be home to more than 300 running springs, was a significant economic hub in the Arabian Peninsula due to the abundance of its natural resources, including wells and fortifications. The name Khaybar was mentioned in the book of the Assyrians as one of the areas captured by the Babylonian king Nabonidus, and he ruled over it between 555 and 538 BC.